Okay, well, how you doing, Veg?
Good morning, sir. Welcome. How you doing? I'm doing real good. I'm actually starting to feel a little bit better. I overworked myself a couple days ago, and whew, I tell you what, being lazy and retired, that's a crippling factor.
I'm hoping to find out someday if I can live long enough. But welcome to another episode of You Must Be Joking.
Right?
There you go. So anyway, I had a subject all planned out.
Do you? Because we got a studio audience, and I'm just wondering what's going on.
Well, I was hoping to get him in on it too and everything, but he just wanted to take a nap. He says, I don't want to do it.
Today's episode is recorded before a live studio audience.
Yeah, he does have the applause. Not the clap, but the applause. Yeah. Anyway, I was going...
Hey, we don't know. We can't make judgments like that.
Well, there is.
I'm not going to ask you medical questions, sir.
We might make a few medical innuendos, though.
Oh, yeah.
But, no, I was going to actually get you in on a discussion of memory.
Memory. I don't have any.
Well, that was the problem, is I forgot to research. You know, I had everything all figured out, and I got busy, and I forgot.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
I will have to try it next week.
I definitely, because like I mean, I used to be able to remember stuff, and I mean, I can remember things like, I you know, math and stuff like that, but I can't really remember a lot of words, and I can't remember names, and I'm starting to forget faces, and I know that it's partially to do with you know, age, but it really, I'm guaranteeing that it has to do with all the drugs I took, you know, in my youth. Just stunted the development of the brain, and probably just murdered those brain cells just left and right. So
yeah, well, see, I never had that issue.
Self-imposed amnesia.
Yeah, see, I never really had that kind of an issue. You know, I've always felt a little bit lonely because, you know, a lot of times the left cell couldn't see the right cell.
Right, because they're so far apart.
Yeah.
They're both out there with flashlights and glow sticks. Oh, can I see you? Is this a rave? You know, so they're just out there. But yeah, it's and I think the only reason that I really kind of remember math to a degree, because it's not like I'm out here doing calculus, but you know, 4 + 4 is 7, whatever. But I think the only reason that I really remember the math to the degree that I do is because it's part of music as a language, and so since I've done music for so long, that the math kind of comes easy up to a point.
Yeah, but then again, you also got to think, you know, I mean, of any language, of anything in human existence, okay, math is the one thing that everybody uses on a daily...
Oh, yeah. You can't get away from math. Even people who don't
know math
use
math.
Know numbers.
Yeah.
So...
You know, I mean, you can't plan ahead on anything without using math in some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get by without reading.
Yeah.
You know, you can get by without being able to speak, but to do anything in your life, you have to use math.
Yeah. Everybody knows. See, that's I had a boss a long time ago who would hire, you know, just anybody to give him a chance and let him work. And, you know, a couple times it's just like, man, that guy can't even read a tape measure. He's like, hey, everybody knows numbers. Just show them what they are. It's like, okay. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, the guy's cutting my wood for me. So it's just numbers.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, I was lousy at fractions.
Oh, I still am. Like I said, math, 4 + 4 is 7. Okay, but calculus, out of here. You know, and believe me, I'm Josh, and 4 + 4 is definitely 9. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I completely understand that it is my fault that my mental faculties are going to start declining even more rapid. I'm gonna be Sleepy Joe in about 3 or 4 years, and yeah, does it bother me? I mean, it should, but it won't when I get to that point.
Yeah, well, no, because the good news is you won't remember that you used to have a good memory.
I got 5 good years left, 3 in diapers, and then I'm out. Going out like I came in, screaming and shouting and pooping my pants.
Well, that depends on how your significant other feels about changing your diapers. You might not have that other 3 years in diapers.
You're correct.
Ain't that the shit?
I ain't messing with that shit. Get out of here. Son of a... I live in the bathtub now because it's clean.
Yeah, that's what I told my wife. The reason I married a woman that's so much younger than me is so when I'm in diapers, you can change them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't have to change yours.
Because I won't be able to. I will not have the mental facilities to even know that mine are being changed. How do you expect me to change yours?
Well, considering that I don't have much mental facility to start with, there's not really a whole lot of difference there.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay to be broken.
Yeah.
Just have to start learning to accept people for who they are. Accept pedophiles. They should be burnt in the center of town at the stake.
Yeah, I got absolutely no use for that kind of crap.
Everybody deserves a second chance.
Not everybody. Not everybody.
No. Let's see here. Where are you?
If you want in on this conversation, you can call us at 253-254-6664 and tell me how wrong I am about burning pedophiles at the stake in the middle of town.
Oh, you said burning pedophiles at a stake. I thought you said as a stake.
Both.
Oh, okay.
Both. I mean, we should let those criminals that like to eat people eat the pedophiles after we've cooked them for them. What's your perfect temperature? 135. I like them a little rare.
Works for me.
Because you gotta think that during every cremation ceremony, there's got to be just a fraction of a second where the meat is perfectly cooked.
Good point.
Hey. If you're not ready to eat human flesh and cockroaches, you're not going to survive the next apocalypse. I'm sorry.
Well, cockroaches I could probably do.
I've eaten cockroaches. It's deep fried, so it was just battered crunch. So
I got a funny feeling that I've eaten them raw.
I've eaten flies, spiders, and some small insects and ants and stuff raw. Cause like, there you go, haha, grossed you out, didn't it? Yeah, But when I was traveling abroad, I did have some very interesting. I believe I had tarantula, even, but like I said, everything's deep fried, so it doesn't matter what it is because you could batter a cat turd and you'd probably eat it and be like, oh, it's delicious. What's the crunchy stuff? The peanuts you fed your cat. So,
well,
I mean, they'll deep fry butter in the South.
Yeah. I've eaten a lot of weird stuff. I've eaten, porcupine. I've eaten raccoon. I've eaten skunk.
Squirrel, skunk, muskrat.
Yeah. Oh, I love squirrel.
Yeah.
Also, the tendons out of a squirrel make a really good bow string.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But
very tough sinew, huh? Nice.
Yeah, but very pliable. So they were good. Anyway, the funniest one that I ate, when I was wandering
the
around,
clowns.
When I was wandering around the reservation, like I told you, that's when I ate grasshoppers.
Okay.
Okay. And those are actually good.
No, they're fine.
Yeah, raw.
Yep.
Don't cook them.
Rip the head off. Boom. Unless you like brains.
I could use them.
We all could,
but the funniest one, I was working at this lumber mill. It was a stick mill down in Grants Pass, Oregon, and I was working with this Native American guy named Dave.
Okay.
And it was a hot day in Grants Pass, and I see him, it's break time, and I see him over there, and he's flipping these boards and throwing stuff in his mouth,
Eating some grub, huh?
And, well, and so I go walking on over there, and I go, Dave, what are you doing? He says, having lunch. So, what are you eating? He says, wood ants.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, how do you do it? So he goes ahead and he picks one up, and these are, good-sized ants, He goes ahead and picks it on up, and he says, you pop their heads off and
boop.
Throw it in your mouth, chew it up, and swallow it down. I said, okay. So I can grab one, go ahead and pop its head off, throw it in my mouth and everything, and I didn't chew. I should have, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And so it was like for the next hour, I kept feeling the legs wiggling around the rear. And couldn't swallow it down. And,
That's happened to me before. That's hilarious, man.
Oh, God, man, it was driving me nuts. And I don't know how much of it was real. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah. It's probably 90% in your head.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
because you felt the leg go on its way down. Now it's there forever. The electronic impulse.
Hey, yeah. He just started laughing. I said, "That's enough for me, man."
It's amazing what the brain can be convinced of.
Yeah.
Like we have a good government right now.
No, if there's a brain, you can't convince it of that. I mean,
That's true. If it's a smart brain.
no, if it's a functional brain.
Hey, I
you're
got
not
a
gonna-
question for you.
Okay, I got an answer.
Government related.
Oh, really?
How long until it's President Harris? How many more weeks? Midterms, maybe?
Maybe.
Because all he has to do is push to the midterms, and then after the midterm elections, when the Republicans retake the House or whatever it is, they'll be like, well, Joe was useless, as usual. Get him out of here. I wonder who her vice president will be. Or
Well,
does he just step aside and become the VP? I'll have to
wouldn't-
look into that.
It wouldn't really make any difference, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because we will have still never had a good president in the entirety of the United States history. Oh! Did he
Oh,
say
that's
that
not
out loud?
true. That's not true.
Name one good one.
Um,
And
Paul
then
Warner.
Paul Warner.
Is he the president of the union?
No. President of Micron. He was a real good guy.
Yeah.
Ron Sandwith, he was another one.
Hey, but we got the government we deserve. It's what we fight for.
Nah, the government that we deserve would be me. I mean,
Honestly, you're correct, because if we could be self-governing and trusted to be self-governing, because I can trust you to govern yourself and I can trust me to govern myself, but everyone else is led to believe that that's an impossible reality.
well, see, I can honestly say that you could make me president, and it still would not be self-governing. I
Well-
would be president, but we would have the first Chinese president in the world, because, I got to take orders from my wife.
Yeah, but I'm talking about we don't need
No, I'm with
a
you.
large.
Yeah.
You know what would be? I've had this idea before. What we should do is just get rid of all extraneous colonies that we believe we own, like Alaska, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and become centralized. Cut our country into 3 pieces, make it 3 countries, and have whatever kind of government each part of this continent now wants, and then we can just have wars within ourselves. That way we don't have everyone in the world hating us because we get involved in all their shit and try and steal everything from them.
Well, if we'd take care of our own shit first before we go worrying about screwing somebody else's up, hey, guess what? We would be too busy to do it.
Right.
Then we wouldn't have so many people pissed off.
Maybe
at
if
us.
we spent 1/3 of our military budget on education, we wouldn't have to have a military budget. But, there's more money in war than there is in peace.
It would be a waste of money to put it into the educational system.
And why is that?
Because have you seen the educational system?
Yeah,
They
the one
need
that has no
educated.
money. Yeah.
No, the educational system that we actually have right now needs an educational system.
Well, the entire facility that is the United States needs to be revamped before it just declines into absolute nothing. But on the other side of that, fuck it, let it decline.
Yeah, right now the
I don't have to care because I don't have kids.
Well, no, but even if you do, I mean, it doesn't really matter because you send them to school. They don't teach the kids
I would never
reading, writing, math, or anything
I
like
would
that.
never send my
You know,
kid to a public
what they
school.
teach them is the institutions, political views, religious beliefs. Their
Indoctrination. Say
Yeah.
it with me. Indoctrination.
Yeah, it's what they believe is most important. Instead of believing that, hey, you were born this way,
It's
this
not
is
even,
who you are.
It's
You
not
can-
even what's most
you know.
important. They teach you to be a worker drone. That's all you need to be.
Well, they teach you to not think for yourself. There's a
They teach you not to think. There's no not thinking for yourself. Just don't think.
there
Follow orders.
there is a comedy sketch that I have on Rubber Chicken Radio, and it's it's kind of like that. It's like a college skit, and everything, and where this cop pulls this guy over and everything, and he's going, "Well, I'm sorry, officer, I had to swerve to avoid that mental block," And he says, I guess I was letting my mind run wild, you know, and he said he ends up saying, you mean that this is a controlled thought zone? He goes, yeah. See the sign? He goes, oh, school. And it's so true. It just you anymore. It's worse than it ever has been, because now there are so many people that are too afraid to offend anybody else by having their own thoughts.
Yep.
That they are willing to give up any freedoms,
Yep.
and then they impose their own fear onto everybody else.
Yep.
And that's where the schools have gotten.
They've been like that for 40 years. You kidding me?
Well, when I was younger and everything, it wasn't quite that bad. I mean,
But it was starting, and you could watch the decline.
Yeah,
They took out wood shop. They took out auto shop. They took out arts and crafts. They took out metal shop. They took out anything that would be a trade, and just taught you to be a worker bee.
well, they didn't even teach you how to do that.
The only music course they keep is marching band for the football team.
Yeah, that's sad, isn't it?
Yeah, school is a disgusting. It's horrible to even say the word school talking about public education, because it's a fallacy in itself. It's
Well, back in the day, I used to think it was, it was better to go to a public school than a private school, because private schools, they always had to mix religion in. You had your Catholic schools, you had your Lutheran schools, you had your, they were all that. So if you didn't want to study the Bible, and what you wanted to do was just study, academics, regular academics, then a private school is not what you would want to do.
Well,
but nowadays,
that depends on what private school and how much money your parents are giving to it. Because all schools, public, private, the voucher schools, they're all indoctrination centers. It's just how your parents want you to be indoctrinated. What they've been brainwashed to think is good for you is what they'll do. And so, you go to a public school because you happen to be in a less affluent community, or you don't have enough money to be sent to a private school. So education in a private school is just a different type of indoctrination.
well, yeah, but there again, that's the point that I was trying to allude to, is that the private schools, they always seem to mix their religion into it, unless it's like a military school.
It depends. Yeah, because you got a military school, you got a religion school, you got a just a regular old I'm going to be a business mogul school. They're not all religion, and it's not all forced. You can set the curriculum for your kid by how much you want to pay for where he goes.
Yeah.
Or she. Or they.
Well, you
or
can do
him.
that.
Or,
You can do
or
that.
the binary. Whatever.
You can do that in a public school too.
How many sexes are there on this planet?
2. How can you say that?
Because my bed isn't big enough for 3.
Oh, mine's way big enough for 5, but just not allowed to do that anymore.
Whoopsies.
Yeah. The wife would frown on that one.
Well, we're both getting too old. It's too much work.
Yeah.
Man,
I don't think I could do it anymore.
you got to remember which hole this one went in and not put it in the other one, because you don't want to get any yeast on you.
Well, how else you going to bake bread?
In the oven.
But you need yeast for a good wine or beer,
Nah.
Yeah, that's why they used to stomp grapes barefoot.
Yeah, because they get that foot fungus fade.
Yeah, that was the yeast.
Yeah, that's why I've never liked wine.
Well, they don't do that anymore.
They don't?
No,
Really?
really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't care.
I'd like to pair this foot fungus wine with this wonderful Gruyere. You have any table water crackers to take away the toe taste?
Yeah, the food wine. This would be a very nice Guerre.
Someone said they could never afford private.
Yeah, neither could we. My mother, she used to threaten me.
Do you
with
think that's
military
by
school.
design? or by choice? Because I know that I've made some bad choices that cost me money, but
Well, I think we've all.
by design, I would homeschool my kids and then let them decide their own educational foray beyond 8th grade. Like the Amish only go to school to the 8th grade. They teach them the fundamentals and the basics. And again, that's another school where the indoctrination of the church is instilled upon them.
Yeah.
But after 8th grade, they're basically integrated into the family unit and the workforce.
Well, yeah. You know,
So the Amish do have child labor.
well, the Amish, the same with the Shakers.
Yeah.
You know.
And the Mennonites.
Yeah, they all mix the religion and the work together.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's actually a pretty good
Yes,
thing.
it seems
you
like
know.
a good system. It's still there, still working, still moving.
Yeah, and it hasn't changed, and it works, and they're, most of them are really happy. If they're not happy, they get up and leave, and then
Do you think
so.
we would recognize if there was an Amish Inquisition?
I don't think we'd even have a clue.
I don't think so either.
No.
I mean, it wouldn't be on social media because they don't.
No, I don't think we would even have a
The
a clue.
Inquisition. What a show.
Yeah, it would be funny though. But yeah, it's just no. I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine how the Quakers or anything like that can function in this country the way it is now.
Because they're sealed away from it for the most part.
Yeah, but
Their
what-
interaction with the idiocy of the average American is very minimal.
yeah, but still the market, because most of them their income, the way they get their taxes paid and all this kind of stuff for the properties, are for the crops being sold and for the crafts that they do. Okay, which I have to admit, when it comes to woodworking, that we're talking top of the line
Yeah.
there. I mean, they've got some beautiful stuff like furniture. and
Because they teach the skill. They pass
Yeah.
down the knowledge. They don't withhold.
Yeah, and they oh god, they have so much talent on a lot of but but with the market fluctuations and everything, how are they able to maintain these large spreads?
Because they're not dependent upon American stupidity. They depend upon themselves communally.
Yeah, not have to depend upon American stupidity.
Like you and I, because we have to wait for shit to be on the shelves at the store to get it,
Well, we
as
don't have
opposed
to
to
depend.
being able to make it ourselves.
We don't have to depend.
Oh yeah,
on-
we do. Well, no, you're right. We don't have to, but
We choose to.
we
Yeah,
do.
Yeah. And I have to admit, self-sufficient has its merits. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Thank you, Princewich. Princewich. Is that like a sandwich? Princewich. So,
I don't know, man. My eyes are so horrible.
that's actually a cool name. I like that.
Prince Switch Radio.
Yep. Cool. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, and thank you for joining the conversation.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know though. I mean, I think that I'm beginning to think that it may have gone a little bit too far to where we're not in a position to where in the next 10 years we couldn't straighten things out no matter who our
Oh no.
leaders
This
are.
this has been in declination since the horrors of the Jekyll Island deal when we created the Federal Reserve. I mean, that is the beginning of the decline of Western civilization. And then I don't know, maybe before Reagan, but definitely when Reagan was in office, when he was union busting, that was destroying the foundation of America. So we just set our government on autopilot, and we let them do what they wanted without any oversight, any control, and now we're crying because we have garbage leaders, and it's our fault because in the Constitution it says we the people. It doesn't say our governors and leaders. It says we the people. So we're supposed to be the ones in control of what's happening, but we just
They've got it. Those rich people know what to do.
no they don't.
You know, people.
Well, no, they do know what to do. They know what to do to make themselves richer, and watch us flail around amongst each other.
Yeah, well, the American people themselves, the average Joes, anyway, the working class, okay, whether they're white collar or blue collar,
orange
or,
collar, purple collar.
yeah, you know, or no collar, you know. We're talking about construction workers
Wife
in the
beater.
summertime. The pool boy.
He's got some nice Speedos.
Okay. Those guys, I forgot where I was going. I hate it when I do that.
See that? Memory. This
Yeah.
show's all about memory.
It was going to be, but I forgot. Next week, we're actually do
Okay.
one on memory.
If we can remember.
Yeah.
Welcome to Rubber Chicken Radio. Oh, wait, we already did that. I forgot.
But I think oh God,
Where were you going? Come on, all these blue collar, white collar, red collar
Yeah.
workers. See, the joke was more important than the actual thought. Oh, it always is.
Yeah. Amen to that. Now, where in the heck was I going with that? Oh yeah, okay. But it doesn't
Cognition
matter.
returns.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what color shirt or whatever they wear for work. But if they're the working class, the downside is they have become so complacent and expecting the government or their elected officials to actually represent them, which they don't.
Nope.
And when they don't represent us, then they just say, okay, well, we'll go ahead and we'll elect somebody else to do it. Instead of saying, and no, you're in there, you start doing it now, you know, or you're going to be unemployed and we'll get somebody else in there, and then forcing the issue to make these people actually represent them.
Yeah, and we don't, and you use the exact word I like to use, complacent. We've become so complacent
Yeah.
that we don't care what our government does, because if we cared, a lot of these people wouldn't be in office. I mean, how do you get to be in office for 40 and 50 and even 60 years? How when your legislation is crap, Bernie Sanders?
Because his money is not.
Well, that guy is the epitome of living off the tit of the American people. He has never had a real job in his life. He's always lived off of the people's money. Always.
Yeah. And,
Oh, he wrote his own book.
Yeah. On the people's time, he wrote a book. That guy has never worked a day in his life. He's only passed 3 bills, and 2 of them were changing the name of a building. Get Bernie Sanders out of office. Stop pretending that communism is great and socialism is going to work, because it doesn't. Because socialism is no different than capitalism when you don't give the power to the people.
well, on the argumentative side for this,
Go ahead.
okay,
Bring it.
I am going to say, do not give the power to the people. Okay, they can't handle it. But
I wouldn't know, because I've never
But-
seen the people have the power.
well, there you go. But you know, well, especially nowadays, the people couldn't, handle it. But what they should do is the people that can handle it should take the power. Okay. Now I'm not talking
Now
about
you're talking about revolution,
No,
and we
no,
don't need
that's-
that, because revolution only benefits the revolutionaries
Yeah.
if they survive.
That's why I was going to say
it
I'm not
doesn't
talking
benefit
about
anyone
a
else.
revolution. What I'm talking about is for the people to actually get fed up enough to act. Okay.
We did. That's why we had a Trump presidency. And what's beautiful about that is how scared the mainstream was about a Trump presidency that they made everyone fear and hate him to the point where he didn't get his second election. But now it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, he's probably
I'm
going
going
to
to laugh so loud if he gets another election. I'm just going to laugh my ass off at the stupidity of the American people.
Yeah, well, it really, to me, period, it doesn't actually matter who they put in the White House.
Yeah, it doesn't matter,
It's
because they're
who-
not in control.
It's who they put in the congressional buildings. Okay. Those are the
Those
ones.
faces never change.
Yeah, but that's just it. We need to get them out of here. Okay, we need to replace every damn one of them, no matter how long they've been in office. Just get rid of them all.
Take
put
them all,
in new faces.
Burn them at the
and
stake in the middle of the town that they're supposed to be
no.
representing, so that people understand that if you fail at your job, we're going to have to change what's going on.
Now, see, you could probably get by with that in places like Tennessee, Kentucky, Georgia,
Arkansas,
Well, they
where sex ed starts at home.
That's a whole different podcast here. But I'm a horrible person. Yeah, I'll vouch. Anyway, but no, that would actually work in some of those states because they like to have the pig barbecue. They take the whole hog and throw them on the fire. But in some areas, like Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania, and
you mean where they had shootings just this last weekend?
Yeah, they don't do the pig barbecue. They don't do the pig roasts.
Some of them.
Yeah, unless they're wearing blue.
Imagine how good people would act if they thought, if I do something real bad, I'll get burnt at the stake in the middle of town. I mean, it'll change the attitude of some, not all, because there's always going to be bad people.
Yeah, well, I just don't really think I like the idea of the smell of burning hair and.
It wouldn't bother me if it brought forth real change that was progressive for the betterment of mankind and the United States.
Yeah, well, I still think that it can.
But it won't. There's no changing.
Yeah, I still think that it can be done, but it's got to be done in the polls.
We can make set polls. See, that's another. Your vote doesn't count. You know how you know? Because Joe's president right now. 80 million votes. Obama didn't even get that many votes.
Yeah.
See, so that's a lesson to you Republicans. Go ahead and go to the graveyard, write down the name, and register those people to vote.
They don't do that.
Yeah, they don't do that.
No.
That's why I got 6 separate ballots for this last election.
Yeah, well, they
With
don't.
3 different serial
They
numbers
don't go to the graveyards and start writing down names.
Well, they don't need to because it's all in records.
It's all computerized now. They can just look it up online. Yeah. You don't have to make that trip and waste gas. Yeah. Unless you're already in the government, then you're concerned about that. Because you have to pay for your own gas. If you're in the government, then everybody else is paying for your gas, so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, I used to say, if you want to get away with murder, become a cop. If you want to get rich committing genocide, become a politician. And so far, I've yet to be proven wrong.
Well, you don't have to commit genocide, but it seems like a lot of them try.
It seems like it's the initiation process.
Yeah, anymore. Yeah.
And believe me, when I say the people of the United States are flailing and stupid and idiotic, I'm one of them. I'm not saying I'm better than any of you. As a matter of fact, I'm probably worse.
I vouch.
But if we don't want change, change will not come. And from what I've seen of the past 20 years, we don't want change. We just want to be able to bicker and cry and point fingers.
Well, that's what we're good at.
But what I really like, I for a while I didn't like social media, but now I've decided I do like it because we're watching the decline of Western civilization live, because you're recording it for us to watch.
Yeah, well, now if anybody else would like to put in their own 2 cents, please feel free. You can call or text 253-254-6664.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah, it's easy to do. 253-254-6664. We'll put you on the air and we can talk. All right?
Tell us how the Democrats are saving the world. Or tell us how the Republicans are saving the world. Or
tell us the truth.
Ain't nobody got time for the truth. You can't handle the truth. You're right. That's why they never tell us.
Well, they don't tell us because
the truth,
they wouldn't make the money.
The truth is so much more frightening than all these fantasy stories they throw us.
Yeah.
And since but you would think that since
Well,
we
I have to say that-
live to thrive in this fear environment, you would think they'd start throwing the truth out there.
Well, the truth can be a lot scarier than fiction. I mean, I have 2 previous marriages to prove that. Once I found out the truth, it was like, oh shit.
That's why I'll never get married. I don't want to know the truth. Yeah, it's all right though. I mean, what we allow to continue will continue, and if this is what we want, I guess it's what we want. So I'm just gonna talk smack about it until it stops or until I die, whichever comes first. Hopefully, death. Because I like talking smack.
Yeah, who knows? You might come down with something, by request.
COVID. Oh man,
That's another thing too, man. I am getting so tired of, they okay. When Russia started doing their thing over there.
What, back in 2014?
Well, no, this recent one.
Oh,
okay.
the new
Yeah.
insurgents into Ukraine.
Yeah, because they were trying to get people's mind off of COVID because it was becoming inconvenient to their political advances. Okay.
I think it's because people were just getting tired of
Well,
hearing about it.
they are. Okay,
So
but
we needed a new distraction.
yeah, so they went ahead and they gave us a breather using Putin. Okay, and now we're having a new surgence. There's a new Omicron variant.
I know, isn't that awesome?
Yeah, but they don't know how bad it's.
My
going to
name
be.
is from Omicron Persei 8, and I'm here to infect you.
So they're trying to get it going all over again, and now I can't.
Yeah, but I don't have to worry about it because I am not morbidly obese. I don't have comorbidities.
Well,
And
I don't
now
know
I'm going
about
to catch
morbid.
flack because I said that. Oh, it's so funny to listen to the Joe Rogan podcast where he and Bill Maher were talking about how 78% of the deaths that occurred in hospitals because of COVID were from people that were had comorbidities and were so obese that was also a factor in their health. And then all of a sudden it turns into like what's his name? Chunk Unger or whatever the hell his name is from the Young Turks. Oh, they're fat shaming people. Well, didn't you fat shame Trump when he was in office? Oh no, it was Nancy Pelosi, but you agreed with her and laughed about it. So your double standards make me laugh.
Everybody that's
And I have double standards too. I'm not singling him out.
I usually have double standards if I've drank enough.
I have double standards all the time.
But I'm pretty consistent.
I'm
Okay.
very consistent with my hypocrisy.
Yeah, well, but I'm pretty consistent with my opinions. I mean, if I think it's right for me, I think it's going to be right for you.
Right.
And you better agree,
No,
or we're going to have some words until you agree.
no, we won't. Because if you don't like what I like, I'll quit talking to you, man.
There's nothing more to say. If you're not going to send me money, there's nothing more to say to you.
If you
How
don't,
does sending you money help? Let's find out.
yeah, please send plenty. Yeah. That's like when I did the little commercial for Save the Naga Beast. I made sure I didn't actually say where to send anything.
It's really funny that you say that because I play a video game where Nagas are real in the video game. Real. They're real in the game.
Yeah, well, believe it or not,
How stupid you sound. So
that game that I loaned you, that one there, they got Naga.
they got Naga in there too? Man, I got to get a DVD player so I can play that game.
Yeah. It's a good game. I enjoy it.
It's sitting in the drawer mocking me. Every time I open that drawer, I'm like, fuck.
Well, I'm going to have to go upstairs in the garage. And I think I've got a couple towers in there, and I might actually have one
An
or
external
two
drive or something that
DVD
can be-
players.
Yeah.
Yeah, or CD players, CD-ROMs.
Well, I just haven't been to get one. I just, because every time I'm out and about, I am absolutely not thinking about playing video games. And so when I pass by an electronics store, I'm not like, oh, I need to get a USB drive. So, or a, CD-ROM that's USB external.
Yeah, I don't know if your tower is expandable where you can put one in there.
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely not.
Yeah, so you'd have to have an external, and I don't have one. Well, that bites.
Yeah, that's all right though. It'll happen. It will happen.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, and I still have part 2, so I can play that one anytime I want. But, you know, because it's got 2 games in it too. But very, very good. In case you guys are wondering, we're talking about Dragon Age.
Dragon Age.
Yeah, he's got the Origins and Awakening.
And he showed me the preview, and it looks cool to play. I just haven't got the equipment to actually play it right now.
Yeah, so awesome games. And part 2 is just as good.
Yeah.
You know, this new one that's out, the Inquisition. It's cool. It's better in a couple of ways. Like, you know, in the original games, the first ones, they, you know, when you would transition from one area to another, you know, it'd go into a thinking mode, and you'd get this screen up there where you could read a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
and then place, and then you'd be there, you know. Where with Inquisitions, the way it goes is, you know, you can actually travel from one to another without that. So
Oh, they've smoothed out the transition.
yeah, so now you can like get on a horse and you can ride from one place to another and actually see everything around through there, you know, and you know, you can go all over the map, you know.
They
this
bury the transitions in like moving into a building or
Yeah.
out to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. I mean,
But you know, but as far as the storyline itself, I didn't find it as enticing. It wasn't nowhere near as hypnotic, you know, or
absorbing.
yeah, you know, you just,
Enthralling.
yeah,
Let me look at my thesaurus.
yeah,
Alluring.
yeah, because I have never been able to sit that long and play any game as I did with the first ones. Okay, and I was thinking, okay, well, I'm going to lose a couple of months here with Inquisition too, and I was all excited about it, you know, and everything.
And then,
you know, and it was just kind of a letdown. The controls were different, you know, or not as user friendly, I guess.
Yeah.
They were more set up for a game console instead of the PC.
Oh, okay, okay.
You know, and the storyline itself was kind of a letdown. The characters themselves, the dialogues, all that wasn't as good, you know. Where you actually felt like you became friends with the characters in the first 3 games, you know. So
That's like I mean, I play a lot of World of Warcraft, and I mean, I used to. I'm kind of weaning off of it now because I tried to get back into it. But back when I started, it was fun. It was easy to play, and then they started trying to make it more inviting to more people, and so they kept changing the mechanics of gameplay and changing the mechanics of gameplay, and they're like, we're making it easier, and it's like, well, why is it so damn hard now? So I put it down, and then I get back on, and I admit that it is a little bit easier to play as far as traveling and acquisition of gear and stuff like that, but as far as becoming part of a progressive raiding team, man, it is difficult because I've got two characters that should be able to be in a progressive raid, and I just can't do it. I was like, I have to back out, guys, because I'm holding you back. And they're like, but you're so geared. I'm just like, yeah, but I'm so stupid. I can't play. So it's fun though, because now they'll do their progression. And they'll be like, hey, man, get on, and we'll carry you through and get you some more gear. I'm like, all right. So it's kind of like way back in the day, there was this guild called Get Carried that I was in for a little bit. Oh, man, I loved them because they'd do all this content, and then they'd come back and they'd get all their low-level people in their guild and be like, here we go. And then next thing you know, I'm just like, yes, I'm bulky as hell. This is great. And but that doesn't even help now.
yeah.
Me. It doesn't help me now. Because I can see that some of the guys that they carry through and gear up and show how to play correctly actually help the progression. But I don't know why. I'm assuming it's because, you know, I've killed my brain and I can't react as fast. And it's all on me. Because I look at the numbers that I do. And then I program my character into the thing that says this is the numbers that you should be able to achieve. And I'm just like, yeah. I'm not doing that. We've bored our studio audience to tears.
Well, that was his plan when he got here.
It's like
So-
your words are so comforting. They just.
Well, we have the melodic voices, you know.
Oops.
Uh-oh, woke him up. He's like, when did this turn into the Howard Stern show?
So what?
I've been listening to you.
He's putting in his 2 cents. Hey, you guys are just like, and so what I'm saying is, that one thing was funny. Ken, are you enjoying it? He's like, who's Ken?
I told you my name was Kevin.
It's been after 5 minutes. You're not supposed to remember my name.
I did. I was guessing. Seriously.
Yeah.
Now
It's,
we're gonna have to shoot you.
Okay.
don't get his hopes up.
Yeah,
man.
don't make promises you ain't ready to keep. Get me all excited.
Yeah, but anyway, it's just yeah. I always thought those games were so good, and
Well, they are when they're initially designed. They're made with love and care and the idea that it's gonna be exciting to play.
yeah,
Then they're great and they sell, and then it's like, oh god, we got to come up with number 2, and we got to come up with number 3. We got to make something that's just like it, and everything gets lost in the shuffle as far as playability, storylines, and
Yeah.
character development.
yeah. Well, you know,
That all takes a second seat to getting the next one out.
yeah. Well, you know, Doom. That they did the same thing with that. It was awesome when it first came out, and then it just went to crap.
Yeah, the 8-bit pixelation
Yeah.
of Doom was beautiful.
Yeah, and then they
Then they made a movie and it's garbage.
Descent. That was another one.
Decent was decent.
Yeah, it was awesome. I thought, you know, and even part 2 was okay, but then it went, you know,
Even the original Halo or Call of Duty, all those games when they first come out, you can see that they really took time to develop a game that would entice people.
yeah. The original Leisure Suit Larry was.
Oh yeah. God, I hated that game.
I got such a kick out of it though. It was so corny and funny.
Oh man, yeah, it's definitely corny. Might as well watch hentai.
But yeah, you know, I mean,
People are like, what? Hentai?
Google it. You know, I like the first Pac-Man, you know, but when
I
then
never got into Pac-Man.
but I didn't like Miss Pac-Man and all the
never-
other ones that came
That's
out.
because you're misogynist.
And the original Donkey Kong I thought was awesome.
I like
you know,
Donkey Kong.
But then when they got into Mario and all this other stuff, I just, you know,
Yeah,
didn't like
well, like I'm saying, because that first one is developed with entertainment in mind,
Mhm.
and then the subsequent ones are developed with make money in mind.
it. Yeah. And Miner 49er, that one used to be my favorite game. You know, he had a ColecoVision. And
ColecoVision.
yeah, we played Miner 49er on that, and man, that was a kick.
That's pretty cool. I had a ColecoVision. I had the Intellivision. I like the Intellivision. It had Zax on.
Yeah, I had the Intellivision. I had what was the name of that one? It was kind of a spin-off from Indiana Jones, something Pit.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. It was kind of like the Atari one, but it was a little different.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the ColecoVision, it had a little, or Intellivision, it had a little better graphics and stuff, you know. But yeah, you had the whip and you had to jump over the pits and this kind of stuff, and you had the gators. And Frogger, I used to love that one,
I
man.
just like Frogger.
Yeah, we used to play that one when we'd get drunk, you know, get drunk and everything, go to the Circle K and, you know, let him get run over instead of us, you know.
Right?
Yeah, it was fun. But, you know, yeah, it seems like after, you know, the first two, it just drops to nothing, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They just doesn't hold my...
Because it's all about revenue generation.
Yeah.
How fast can you develop this game?
Yeah, and if anybody is interested, you know, I mean, if you got extra money you just want to throw away, send it my way.
Yeah, I'll
You know?
play video games with your quarters.
But anyway, let's see here. Oh, well, we're about done.
What?
Yeah,
Man.
been an hour already.
A little bit of politics, a little bit of video games. Next thing you know,
So everything's solved. Hands are clean.
Yeah. But, next week, we will be here next Sunday. Okay, so the date for Sunday is, let's do this.
Something?
Yeah, it'd be the 24th.
24th.
Okay, so we'll be back here on the 24th at noon next Sunday. And if it would be appreciated very much if you guys would actually send us an email at suggestions@rubberchickenradio.com and give us an idea of what you would like us to discuss. If you can get it in by, say, Thursday.
He said get it in.
By Thursday, then we'll have time to actually put it into the deal.
Yeah, put memories in the subject line so that we can remember.
Yeah, because otherwise that's what we're going to be talking about. And the funny part about that is I actually have a text here that I sent myself.
Hey, remember to talk about memories.
Yeah, it says right on that text message, memories. And
Memories.
yeah, so that lets you know exactly how bad we are.
Memories.
But anyway, thank you all for listening to another episode of You Must Be Joking.
Thank you.
Right? Anyhow, thanks a lot. You can also leave us emails or at Gary or Veg at rubberchickenradio.com, and you can leave us a text message or a voicemail at 253-254-6664.
Do it.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah, plan ahead, man.
Please.
Hey, all right, thanks
Become
a lot, guys.
involved in the conversation. You make this conversation happen. Listening to us is nice, but talk to us.
Yeah, that would be. Howdy, friends and neighbors. Your Kentucky salesman Gary again. I'm here to talk to you today about one of the best inventions since sliced bread. In fact, it goes great with sliced bread. I'm talking about Kentucky jelly. Just spread it on some toast or a biscuit and start enjoying the most unique flavor you've ever had. True, it don't taste that great, but it's the first jelly with multiple uses. Now, we've all had this happen, where your St. Bernard or your Great Dane gets stuck in the cat door. Well, just smear some of this on its fur and watch it shoot through like a wet bar of soap in a prison shower. Now, fellas, do you have a hard time telling your lady how much you care? Is it difficult to say, I love, or I love you, cars? Well, no more. Put some Kentucky jelly on a biscuit and words will come flying right out of your mouth like an unstoppable locomotive. I tried telling my wife on our anniversary how much I cared, and I couldn't do it until I put some on toast. Just one bite and I love you, and you're so beautiful, and I'm so horny came sliding right out. Disclaimer, friends, don't use too much. You might start telling her you love her, her sister, her mother, her brother. That very seldom ever goes well. Well, there you have it. Remember, friends, nothing says I love you to a biscuit like Kentucky jelly.
We here at Rubber Chicken Radio want to let you know that no rubber chickens were harmed in the making of our promos. Not that you thought that anyway. You come here for the rock, the country, the comedy, and not once did it occur to you that we would be engaging in activities that could harm a rubber chicken. But now that we here at Rubber Chicken Radio have planted the idea in your head, you'll be thinking about it all day. You're welcome. From rock to country to comedy, give us an hour and we'll give you a smile. Rubber Chicken Radio.